Hi, everyone. This is Jim from Song Tripping. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to finish out my run through of the Grant's Christmas albums on vintage vinyl. These were released from 1967 to 1974. There were 8 volumes, and you could get these at the Grant's department store. And they were a real nostalgia trip for me to go back through the years and share these albums with you. My family had volumes 3 through 4, or 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then over the years I've collected the other ones. So we're now up to volume 8, and this I cannot show you because it's the one Grant's Christmas album that I don't have. It's very hard for me to find. It has not come up in the stores, or if I saw it once or twice, I bypassed it and didn't buy it. And it's a Very Merry Christmas Volume 8. So a few notes on this. I was able to listen to this album. I found a vinyl rip online, and I got to listen to it. So I can give you an album review here. But what happened here with the last Grant's Christmas album, 1974, is they moved from RCA to Capitol. Remember, the first 4 were on Columbia, volumes 5, 6, and 7 were on RCA, and now they've moved to Capitol for the last one. I think it's nice to be out of the RCA stable and on the Capitol farm. You got a new roster of artists, and they breathe new life into the franchise. So we start on side 1 with "Do You Hear What I Hear" by Bing Crosby. Nice way to start. And I think this song works as an album starter. They did the same thing on Volume 3 with Robert Goulet's version. The sound quality here didn't sound like the best transfer, but Bing sounds good. He sounds kind of younger. He's in full command of the song. He doesn't oversing it. And it's a nice contrast to the Robert Goulet version, which I like quite a lot. This is a nice alternative. Second is a little gem by Peggy Lee called "Christmas Waltz." It's a more obscure track, and it's really lovingly sung by Peggy. I think it's an album highlight. It's magical. Then Fred Waring and the Pennsylvanians with "Sleigh Ride." Fred and company sing with a lot of brio, but man, they are hopelessly squeaky clean and kind of square. But it's okay. It's Christmas music. It goes with the territory. It's really not that bad of a song and version of it, and it's up-tempo. It's kind of muscular the way they sing it. Then another interesting track, we go to Tennessee Ernie Ford. It Came Upon a Midnight Clear. This sounds like it came from another era. I'm not actually sure when Ford recorded it, but it sounds like it could be the 40s or the early 50s. It seems certainly to be like a land where Elvis hasn't been heard from yet, like something you would hear crouched around the family radio in your living room before the golden age of television, and it's actually quite evocative. I'm sort of picturing windswept mid-America farms, the snow drifting along the fence, that kind of a vibe. It's a nice one. And then side 1 finishes up with English Chamber Orchestra with the Ambrosian Singers for "Unto Us a Child is Born." And this ethereal version competes nicely with the Eugene Normandy and Philadelphia Orchestra version that appears on Volume 3 on Columbia. But this one has more of a chamber music feel to it. Maybe they recorded it in a smaller hall, probably so. But again, on this vinyl rip I listened to, the fidelity could have been better. That brings us to side 2 with Nat King Cole and the Christmas Song. And that's cover for many of us is the definitive version of this song, and it's nice to have it included here. And you can just melt into his warm cover. The piano interlude is very stylish, and it's a nice break before he repeats the final verse at the end. So yeah, that's just a Christmas classic. You can see like we're using different artists here because these are all coming out of the Capitol stable. Then we have the Robert Wagner chorale with Gesù Bambino, nicely orchestrated and sung by the chorale with supple musicality. It's presented with a tender hand. The slower tempos of the song give you some time to reflect and focus, so it's just a nice kind of more classically themed track. Then we go country with Glenn Campbell and "Blue Christmas." And Glenn delivers an expressive butter creamery version of it. He could croon with the best of them. The string arrangement here is, to be honest, on the schmaltzy side, but I do like the rhythm section. They chug along underneath all that, and it's a good cover. And then Dinah Shore with Silent Night. So Dinah sings Silent Night the way I think you should sing Silent Night. Intimate, close, very quiet, close-mic'd, sincere, fragile at the margins. There's like a vulnerability in her treatment of it. It's a nice quiet take that you can't really turn away from. And then we finish with Hollywood Pops Orchestra and a Christmas medley for children. It sounds like movie soundtrack music for sure. Hollywood Pops Orchestra was well named, and they surf through a host of Christmas tunes. It goes on for a long time. I think this track might be about 6 or 7 minutes long till it fades out. And so that ends the Grant's Christmas series of albums. Volume 8, to recap, is for my money, a return to the glory years of 1967 to 1970. It's a nice swan song. It's a stronger lineup of performers than you were finding on the RCA albums. Not as thin. Lots of highlights to choose from here. You've got Bing Crosby, Peggy Lee, Nat King Cole, etc. And I honestly wonder why I haven't been able to score this album when I do my crate digging. I just don't come across it. I never see it. Why is this the case? I think there's a couple possibilities. One is people might like it so much that they just preserve it in their collections and they pass it on through the family. As good as a compilation as it is, and it is very good, I don't think it's necessarily that's the case. I think the second option is probably more likely that it just didn't sell very well. Like Grant's was on the verge of bankruptcy by 1974. They went bankrupt in 1976. Who knows how well it was distributed? Who knows how many copies were sold, how few copies were sold? There just might not be as many copies out in the field. That being said, it's not unheard of. If you go on Discogs, you can find people selling it for like $2. But I will keep my eyes open because I've got all the other ones, and it would be nice to add this one as the end cap. But if I stumble upon it, I'll pick it up for sure. But I did enjoy sharing my thoughts about these albums with you, and I'm interested in your memories and your thoughts about these albums. What are your favorite compilations? And, I might do one more video where we do sort of a rundown of like ranking them. But in any case, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and ring the bell. And I hope you tune in again to the next video. Thanks a lot.